Disclaimer: the information in this video is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before investing in any crypto project. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Crypto Huntsman YouTube channel. Firstly, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers we got over the last few days. We're up to 24 subs at the moment. Soon be hopefully 25 after this video. Thanks to anyone that has commented or interacted or liked any of the videos since I launched the channel. So this is a project that I'm looking to get into. It's on a different chain. The idea here is to diversify as much of my portfolio into different chains, and also to look at dexes on different chains, and hopefully be in a position that when the next bull market arrives, I have a decent bag holding on different dexes on different chains. So without further ado, we're going to look into Croswap on the Cronos Chain. So give me a second now. So here we are. We have Croswap, the website. Initial impressions of the website before going into any other detail is it's clean, it's nice. Obviously they have the pirate team seems to be with it. If anyone was involved with Cronos nodes, I think is what they've started out originally as, and then eventually rebranded and changed over to incorporate the Croswap. So if we look through this is things that they've started or coming soon. It's great to see lots and lots of different things will be coming soon. Now obviously hopefully they can keep building on these and keep getting them out there, and it's not a case of we're promised we're going to do all this stuff and it just takes too long for things to come out and eventually does the project die out or something like that. So far it seems to be very interesting features that they're bringing. So I haven't gone into great detail into every one of these. As I said, my main focus here is to try and get into a dex that's has the potential to do really well on this chain. So obviously Cronos Chain is from the crypto.com family, and to interact on the chain you need the Crow token. So the Crow token basically will pay the gas fees for all the transactions you do, similar to like what BNB or Phantom does on their chains. So if we take a look quickly, this is my plan for Croswap. I'll do a follow-up video maybe tomorrow or the next day about me transferring coins probably from Binance chain over to the Crow chain. So first we're going to just quickly look at into the exchange. Obviously simple and straightforward enough, similar to PancakeSwap. Swap one token for another token. Low fees, which we'll get into that when we have a look at the documents page. Liquidity, obviously adding and removing liquidity, your own liquidity into it. We have the pools, I'll come back to that in a second, and then we have the farms. So like the farms, they're a decent daily percentage here is 3.09. We can stake the Croswap token and USDC and get 3.5% per day, and 211,000 locked in it at the moment. We also have Launchpad for new tokens that are being launched through Croswap. It's something I would probably look into more once I get the initial setup here of tokens in it. So as I said, if we go back to the pools, this is what I'll be looking to get into straight away. So my plan here is to invest probably $200-300 into it and let it stake here to earn rewards daily. Obviously the percentage at the moment is 3.42. From what I can gather from previous videos, it was up around 20 or 30 or 40% for quite some time. So even at 3.4% per day, we can expect as the chain grows and as the platform, the DEX grows, that's going to dramatically reduce. So I plan to try and get into this and compound it for the foreseeable future, and then obviously once the markets turn a bit more bullish, I'm hoping then that I will have a decent bag in here and I can take full advantage of the prices then and what they have to offer. So if we look at the documents, I like the documents as well laid out. Really plenty of information of everything you want in here. So if we just quickly scroll down here to the tokenomics part of the documents, so we can see here that the effective emissions is 230,000 tokens. So obviously that means every day there's 230,000 tokens coming into the ecosystem, provided we stick to a similar block time and the amount of blocks per day. So the distribution of these tokens then is 12% and 12.5% go to the pools, 27.5% go to the farms. So obviously it equates to 230,000 tokens per day. So so here you can see there's 576,000 come into emission, and then obviously 345 are burned directly. And I've read somewhere that they're not burned as in they're just sent to a dead account or dead wallet. They're actually removed from the total circulation, which is great to see. Because some projects have it that they go to a dead account wallet address and they still are calculated then technically as part of the total supply. So obviously that's good to see. We can see obviously 230,000 tokens coming into effect. They have information there of when the transfer fees or the fee for buying and selling tokens using the DEX, there is a small percentage of it burned. They do daily burns as well. Sorry, it might not be daily burns. It might be. So here we have yesterday we done an additional 3,500 buyback. They did one there the day before, it was 2,000, and then they had another one today, 2,300. So obviously it might be burns quite often, which is great to see. Again, in the long term, will hopefully combat the inflation aspect of it. If you have a look around through the documents page, there is a lot of help. One thing I did see, and in the Medium article, and also I get the feeling from using the platform and looking through it, is there's a big focus on education and educating users on how to do certain tasks and certain processes for the platform. So I think that's brilliant. Focusing on education for any crypto project now can have a massive benefit, because I think they can turn around and become leaders in the space very quickly, as they'll have educated users and not just users that pretty much just putting coins in or tokens into something and not understand where or how to properly manage it and do it. So I like that aspect of it. Obviously, from my own point of view, from marketing, I think it's a great way to approach projects and focus heavily on educating users. Now, there's one thing, I was in the Discord today, and maybe this could be something the team, if they happen to see this, or anyone in the community happen to see this, is they have this section here, branding and logos, which is really well laid out. Clear information on how to use the logo, what ways to avoid it, don't change it around. But they have no actual link for anyone to download the logo. So basically it means that for me, for this thumbnail that I created, I had to do the logo, copy it from Twitter, and try and write out the text myself to best match. I tried to stick as close as I could to the likes of this information here, but I would recommend that they have a link there. If you're wanting people to use your logo and how to use it, make sure you can give them the logo clearly here. So I see some projects do this, have the information there and have the logos there and everything that you need to download, because you're wanting to stay on brand, and make sure that you have your logo there to clearly identify what you're wanting to portray as a company. So that's just my own bit of advice to them. If we go up here, we see obviously they have the Medium article or Medium account. Again, education. So this fella, I think, represents the education part of Croswap. And again, lots of information in there, lots of articles to read, learn a bit more about what Croswap offer, what they're doing different, and yeah, it's a great resource. As I said, hopefully they'll keep maintaining this with content ideally I would like to see if they have a YouTube video and possibly, make their information work for them better by creating videos on the articles. So you're getting double the amount of exposure for one content type. So again, that would be a little bit of advice for marketing firm. So if we look on DeFi Llama, we can see here that on the Cronos chain at the moment, these are the dexes that it has registered on it. So as you can see, the VVS Finance at the moment is the highest, 2.6 million in trading volume in the last 24 hours. So obviously they're 98% of the volume at it. Now, there's obviously some projects that are listed maybe on as a DEX, but not listed on DeFi Llama. I'd like to see Croswap listed on here, because when you look at the volume that they have, their daily volume here is 114,000. Obviously, it'll put them as ranked second here at the moment. However, obviously a good bit further away from the VVS Finance, but early days for the project. So you can see back on the price here, we're sitting at roughly 12 cent. It had, I think, went as high of 30 cent. Yeah, so 35 cent I think was the high range for the price. And if you look at the VVS, the trading volume on VVS is 732,000 daily volume. Now it's a little bit different here than what it said on this one, so I don't know which is 100% accurate. So maybe this is just for the VVS token and the USD pair, where this might cover all trading pairs volume in it. I'm not sure. Said if you're still not quite sure and you're concerned obviously with the price of Croswap and how it's after dropping and it's after tanking, I was around in the early days for PancakeSwap, and I fortunately got in early onto PancakeSwap at probably 30 cent as well. Rolled it all the way up to 40 and quickly rolled it the whole way back down again, taking very little profit. So lesson learned there for myself. But if you're looking at Croswap here, you can see we had a pump up to the 35 cent. We've had the initial phase of the dump off. If you look here at PancakeSwap, PancakeSwap came around in 2020 in September I think it was, so it's roughly around this time anyway. So we had the initial price up to 141, then we had the initial dump all the way back down to 39 cent give or take, went up again to 60 cent, dumped back down and proceeded to meander then, and obviously things started to improve and pick up and stuff, and we eventually got back to the 150 mark and went up to as high as 40 before coming back down to now the current price is 450. So my plan here is to get a bag of Croswap, compound it, and see can I position myself in a way that if the Cronos chain does pick up, and Croswap keep building and implementing their new features, that they will become the number one on the Cronos swap or Cronos chain for Dex. So if they can do that, it'll increase the amount of users, which will increase the value of the token to a degree. So now just be aware that it is going to be inflationary, so all rewards here are paid out in their own token, so you know that instantly it's going to lead to people dumping their tokens. So I feel at the moment that first phase of dumping is done, so now as more and more people come in, we'll slowly start to increase the amount of pressure it can maintain. So if you pop over here to my handy chart that I made up today, so you can see here on this my plan is to invest $250 into it. The current interest rate per day is 3.42, and the price per coin is roughly 12 to 13 cent. So on the right here you can see for my $250 I get 1929 tokens. If we can maintain this price and this rate for 20 days, after 20 days I'll have 3,779 tokens, which will nearly double my money. However, if it's a case you're not interested in that, and a little bit of part of me wants to work on it, that we can have a passive income stream out of it. So my plan might be to work to possibly to 3,000 to 4,000 tokens. Once I hit 4,000 tokens, keep compound, not keep compound, but keep staking, but then start pulling out the rewards daily out of it. So if you look here on the left hand side, in the dollar value, if we invested $250, we're roughly getting $8 per day in rewards. So that's a good start for someone if they're wanting to do it. Obviously not financial advice, but it's a good way to start a portfolio. For a small outlay of 250, you could potentially earn $8.50 per day. Now, understand that the price of the token will drop, and here I just have it that I can quickly change the price. So if the price was to drop to, say, 9 cent, it's going to affect obviously how much I earned. So this will be my return if the price was to drop to 9 cent, and interest rate stay the same. However, obviously if the interest rate drops to 2.5%, I would need a bit more time before I can start. After 20 days, give or take, I will still be in profit, only a small bit. However, my tokens will be after increasing. So again, price goes down, it's going to extend how long you have to compound to get your initial coverage. However, if the price was to go up to, say, 50 cent, then our initial invested amount is 1,500 is worth, and obviously our daily returns then would be worth more down the road if the price of the token is up as well. So so the interest rate is as is. So so I'm looking to possibly add this in here into my portfolio. We'll probably look at putting a $250 into it, and compounding it until I get to possibly the 5,000, because I'm looking to add Croswap for my long term bag target. So the idea of this document here is, for me personally, just to get an idea of how many days would I have to compound, and the price variations of where would it be if I needed to sell after 20 days. I decided, look, I'm enough, I don't want to be part of it anymore because something changed. Then I'm hoping that after 20 days I could potentially come out with a project, and based on this calculation I probably have a little bit of a loss, but it's, as I said, it wouldn't be severe. And the upside for me, the risk to reward, there's much more potential for reward than the risk. Again, make sure you do your own research on it, but overall the Croswap, I like what they're doing. As I said, I've gotten lucky enough to get into PancakeSwap early. However, I'm wanting to get into it this way, into Croswap early, but get into it with less of my own money and possibly compound for maybe a month if I can, and see how it goes. But as part of my strategy for my daily returns, I want to make sure that I have projects that are working for me and building my bags bigger without me having to put more money into it. And as I said, this will hopefully put me in a position of strength when the markets start to change. So I'll leave it there. Sorry it was a bit long of a video, but as I said, I'll probably do a follow-up video on Croswap of how to maybe bridge over tokens from Binance or Phantom, and bridge them over and actually make a purchase and a deposit into the pools. So again, thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't, and please like the video, and if you can, comment if you're involved in Croswap. I'd love to hear what your views are on it, so don't forget to comment. So thanks very much for everything, and hope everyone has a great day.